Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're digging into something you shared with us. And on the surface, it looks, pretty straightforward. It's the blueprint for total body strength and core workout, day 15.
Right, a list of exercises.
Exactly, just a list. But we know that behind any good program, there's always a strategic why, a reason for every single choice. So our mission today is to really get into this one routine, this single day, and pull out the design philosophy behind it.
The thinking behind the structure.
Yeah, we need to understand not just the what, but the why. Why push-ups are paired with shoulder taps, what the real goal of that finisher is.
I think that's so important.
This is all about giving you the confidence to know the intent of the workout so you can just crush every single minute of it. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's unpack this.
And the second you do unpack it, the design, it really just clicks into place. This is not some random collection of exercises.
Not at all.
It is a highly engineered system. The whole thing is organized into 4 really distinct phases.
4.
And each one has a purpose. You've got the warm-up, which is non-negotiable, then the main workout, which is segmented, a finisher, and then that crucial cool-down. It's all there.
Yeah, I'm immediately struck by the efficiency. A mandatory 3-minute warm-up.
Yeah.
That's it. 3 minutes.
It seems fast.
It seems almost too fast to get your body ready for what's coming next.
That's a great point because, 3 minutes to prep for a full-body workout, it feels aggressive. But when you look at what's in those 3 minutes, it's incredibly targeted.
It's not just jogging in place.
Not at all. This is dynamic prep.
Exactly. So you start with 30 seconds of arm circles, then boom, right into 30 seconds of high knees to get that heart rate going.
The cardio response.
Then torso twist for another 30 seconds, mobilizing the spine, and hip openers, which, are clearly there to get you ready for the squats and lunges later on.
And a full minute of marching in place to tie it all together.
Right.
But the key thing here is the function. They're moving you through every major plane of motion.
All 3 of them.
All 3 in rapid succession. The goal isn't deep, static stretching. We know that can actually weaken your output before a workout.
Right, it can decrease power.
The goal here is just to get your core temperature up, get blood flowing, and just wake up the nervous system. 3 minutes is all you need because every second is active. It's a signal to the body that says, okay, we're about to work.
That makes perfect sense. It's all about activation.
Yeah.
And that activation leads you right into the main workout, which, like you said, is methodically broken down.
Upper, lower, and core.
Upper body, lower body, and then that dedicated core section. And what's fascinating here is just how methodical it is. They make sure you build fatigue in one area without accidentally burning out a muscle you're going to need later. So let's jump into that upper body segment. Start strong. 12 reps of push-ups.
Foundational.
A real foundational move, yeah. It hits the chest, shoulders, triceps, pure pushing power.
And here's where the program shows its intelligence. It doesn't just say do 12 push-ups.
It gives that cue.
It gives that specific cue, keep your core tight and back straight. And that little instruction, that is the key to the whole day. Because when you do that, when you keep that rigid line from your head to your heels, the push-up suddenly becomes a moving plank.
Okay.
So you're not just working your pecs. You are forcing your entire core to stabilize your body against gravity. This is the program right there, linking upper body strength to core function. It sets the theme for everything else.
That's a huge insight. So it's not just a safety tip. It's a core part of the training. But okay, let me push back a little here.
Please.
If I've just done 12 really hard core engaged push-ups, why do I immediately follow that with shoulder taps? 20 reps. It feels like I'm slowing down.
It feels like a slowdown, but that is actually where the genius of the programming is.
Okay.
The push-ups build the raw strength, right? But the shoulder taps, they're all about control and integration. They're an anti-rotation exercise.
Meaning you have to resist twisting.
Exactly. After you fatigue your chest and arms, your shoulders are naturally a bit unstable. The shoulder tap forces you to stabilize on one arm while the other is moving. That requires a huge amount of work from the deep muscles in your rotator cuff and your entire torso. This pairing just drills home that strength and core theme. You're building strength that is actually functional. It trains your brain and your body to maintain that full body tension and balance.
Which is key for preventing injury.
Vital. It's not just about looking strong, it's about being stable and strong.
So the push-up is the power, and the shoulder tap makes sure that power is supported. And okay, I see it now. That same idea carries right over the lower body section. It starts with 20 squats. And here's where it gets really interesting. We're shifting from balancing on our hands to driving power through our feet. Hitting the big engines, the quads and glutes.
Squats are the bedrock, no question. They build that bilateral strength, right? Both legs working together.
Symmetrically.
But think about real life or sports. How often are you perfectly symmetrical? Almost never.
Which brings us directly to the next exercise. Reverse lunges. 16 reps, 8 on each side. See the compliment now.
Precisely. Reverse lunges are unilateral. They demand so much more from your smaller stabilizer muscles. Your glute medius, your inner thighs, they're all firing like crazy.
To keep you from falling over.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the program is just checking off all the boxes. You get power from the squats.
And then you get balance and unilateral strength from the lunges.
Exactly. It's the same pattern as the upper body. Raw strength paired with fine-tuned control. It's brilliant. And that kind of sequencing is so important for fixing common imbalances. It makes sure the strength you just built in those squats is actually stable when you're on one leg.
And all that stability work, that structural integrity, leads us right into the dedicated core segment, which is short, but it's potent. We start with a 30-second plank. 30 seconds isn't a long time, but the source makes a point of saying full core engagement. So for that short period, what should you really be focused on?
Quality. 100% quality over just holding on for dear life. The program wants you to actively engage your transverse abdominis.
That deep internal muscle.
Your body's natural weight belt. Yeah. That's the muscle that was protecting your back during the push-ups. 30 seconds is just long enough to challenge it, especially when you're already fatigued, but it's short enough that you should be able to keep perfect form.
So the plank sets it sets the foundation. And then you move into the final core exercise. Bicycle crunches. 20 reps.
A rotational movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is so important because so far the core work has been about resisting movement.
Resisting flexion, resisting rotation.
Right. The bicycle crunch is probably the most complete core exercise in this whole routine. It hits everything.
Like upper abs, lower abs.
And the obliques on the sides, it's what the source calls a complete core burn. And that's exactly what it is. You get stability from the plank, then dynamic rotational power from the crunches. Every part of the core is hit before everything changes. Changes is an understatement. We hit the finisher. After all that controlled work, the program just drops the hammer. Burpees. 10 of them.
Just 10.
And the description it gives is potent. A full-body, explosive movement. Now, we've just spent all this time building controlled strength, refined stability. Why end with this sudden, almost violent metabolic spike? Why not just finish with the core work?
Because that explosion serves a very, very specific physiological purpose. Everything you did before built the stability.
Right.
The burpee tests that stability under maximum fatigue and at high speed. It forces you to hold it all together while moving explosively. But there's more to it. The source says the purpose is to fire up your metabolism and end strong. That spike in intensity triggers something called APOC.
The afterburn effect.
The afterburn effect. By putting 10 all-out burpees at the very end, when your muscles are already tired, you just maximize that metabolic burn for hours after a workout is over. It's the ultimate test of the strength you just built.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. It's a way to optimize your calorie burn for the rest of the day. And then, thankfully, day 15 doesn't just leave you there on the floor. It mandates a structured 2-minute cool down.
Which is probably the most skipped part of any workout.
Always. But it's so important here. The steps are simple. Light stretching, deep breathing, and then relaxing the spine and hips.
And that 2 minutes is essential. It helps prevent that really bad muscle soreness, DOMS.
Right.
And it signals your nervous system, okay, the fight is over. It lets your heart rate come down gradually instead of just crashing. So what does this all mean for you? When you pull back and look at the whole picture, this deep dive shows a workout that is built on one single principle: functional integration.
Everything is connected.
Everything. It hits every muscle group, but it always, always weaves in work that prioritizes your core stability and your balance. All the way from that first cue in the push-ups to that final burpee.
Exactly. And when you understand that structure, why the lunges come after the squats, why the warm-up is dynamic, it gives you the confidence to execute day 15, not just with effort, but with purpose. You maximize every single rep because you know what it's for. And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive. A huge thank you for sharing this source material with us. It's always really fascinating to get under the hood of these kinds of deceptively simple programs.
And as you go forward with routines like this, maybe think about this for a second. We saw today a huge focus on building endurance and challenging your balance, all within a strength workout. So, what specific parts of a core workout are really the most effective when your main goal isn't just muscle gain, but long term injury prevention? Is it just about holding a plank forever? Or is it more about training those deep core muscles to fire instantly when you're hit with an unexpected, uneven load? Keep learning and keep asking those questions.